Welcome back to What I Wish I Knew at 30, the podcast where real stories meet real transformation. Today, I'm joined by a woman who is every bit as fierce as she is wise. Theodoridis, the secret weapon you want in your corner. With more than 25 years of experience as a master trainer, facilitator, and coach, Connie has guided thousands of people through powerful transformation, from future leaders to high performance entrepreneurs. She's seen it all, and she doesn't just talk about change, she creates it. Connie brings a no nonsense, real world approach that cuts through the fluff and goes right to the breakthroughs. Whether she's leading from the stage or coaching one on one, her mission is clear: to help people rise above their limits and hit heights they never thought possible. Together with her husband and business partner, Rob, Connie is the driving force behind the global Rise to Greatness movement, empowering people to live with clarity, courage, and unstoppable momentum. And if you ever wondered what it takes to step into your power, own your story, and build a life on your terms, this conversation is for you. Connie, welcome to What I Wish I Knew at 30. Did I miss anything in there? Is there anything you'd like to add?
Franny, oh my goodness. Hello, my love. What an introduction. Thank you so much. And you know me, I feel always uncomfortable when people speak about me because it's always about others. But thank you so much. I feel very humbled and blessed to be sharing this space with you, gorgeous lady.
You're so welcome. Thank you so much. I know you guys are really, really busy with the up and coming Rise to Greatness 2026. And, so I really appreciate you, spending some time to jump back in a time machine with me and go back to when you were 30.
And
So let's do it.
Thank you
Let's
so
get it.
much, Franny. And thanks for holding space for us. And I guess, in terms of helping others to, learn not from the mistakes, but the learnings that we made, at that particular age so they can actually implement it into their lives.
Exactly. If one of the stories or one of the learnings that we share helps just one person to navigate challenges in their own life, then that's what we're here for, isn't it?
Absolutely. So I'm very excited to be on this journey with you for how long is it? Half an hour? What are we on for,
And you've got
Fran?
a whole hour with me, Connie. A whole hour.
I feel even more privileged. Beautiful.
Fantastic. So Connie, let's get into it. Imagine we're jumping in a time machine right now. You're 30 years old again. Where are you? What are you doing? And what's going through your mind at that stage of life?
Wow, Fran. That's a very powerful question. So at 30 years of age for young Connie, I was actually enrolled in my master's degree, doing my master's in social sciences. So I was majoring both in organizational psychology and leadership and management, as well as people behavior, so behavioral sciences, because I really enjoyed both topics. And I still probably wasn't clear enough where I was going to head with it, to be quite honest, because back then we didn't have all the amazing mentorship and coaching that's come to life, I guess, in the last decade. Yeah. So it's almost like we were all engaged and, they always told us about what path we had to do. It's like you did your degree, then you did your master's, and then you figure it out, So here I am, 30 years of age, enrolled in a master's degree going, what am I going to do with this? I was teaching and obviously facilitating and coaching at that particular time as well, but still very unclear what I was going to do with everything I had achieved prior to that and up to that point. Like, very unclear.
So you didn't feel then that you had life figured out at that time. You were still winging it.
Absolutely. And I'm not afraid to say that. I was winging it in regards to, I knew I loved people. That's one thing I know from a young girl. I knew I was quirky and different and I had lots of energy, and I knew that I could actually transform people quite successfully. I knew that. Where I was going to head with that in terms of a lifelong goal, I had no idea at all, because again, we didn't have mentors or coaches or back then. And it was like, well, what do I do with all this? How do I figure all this out? So it was a bit confusing in sense of lifelong, long-term goals, where I was going to go with that.
Absolutely, and I've heard that a lot when I was training coaches and going through those processes. We had a lot of people that came from psychology majors because they really weren't sure what they were going to do with it. There wasn't that clear pathway of, whether you went into hospitals or whatever, but if you were looking at true transformation, they weren't getting the tools that they needed to be confident enough to be able to go out there and train
Absolutely.
and coach people. So
Yeah.
sorry, go on.
No, I was going to say, and I don't know if your audience is very aware of behavioral sciences. When you do behavioral sciences as your set of expertise, it covers a whole bunch of different areas. You've got elderly, then you've got youth, and then you've got small business, and then you've got people with disabilities, and you've got families, children. So you're exposed to so many different areas. And
Yeah.
then it's like, well, where do I niche? Do I do a specific group? Don't I? What do I look at? Do I look at challenging behavior? Do I look at empowering families? Do I look at
Mm.
entrepreneurs and business owners? So it's a very broad area that you cover. It makes it, I guess, a little bit more difficult to actually find your little area that you want to pursue.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to lie, at 30, I was a little bit confused about where I was headed.
Well, good thing now that you know where you're going now. So when you go back to, you say you're a little bit confused at that
Yeah.
time, did you have a dream? What was your biggest dream at that time?
My dream hasn't changed. I can tell you now, this dream came about when I was 13 years of age. And I was going to a school, true story, with kids who had disabilities. And I will never forget this story. I saw a young boy who was actually deaf and has cerebral palsy being pushed in front of me. And he rolled down. It was on a hill and he was rolling down this particular hill. And from that day on, Fran, hand on heart, I knew that I was going to help people and transform people and help people become the best versions of themselves, no matter
Mm,
what challenges they had gone through, no matter what obstacles, no matter what limits and limitations they thought they had. I knew that I was going to be this person that went above and beyond so people can live the most extraordinary life that they deserve to live, regardless of who they are, and help people own it. Yeah, so even at 30, that becomes so much stronger. Like, I just knew that I was gonna help people transform and own their trueness, you know?
I love that. And
Yeah.
just tell us a little bit before we go on. I think it'd be wrong of me to just dismiss that because the work that you do with your youth. Just tell me a bit because honestly, it warmed my heart when we were doing Rise to Greatness last year and seeing some of those youngsters that have come through your program. Just tell us a bit about that.
So my heart lies in I'm very passionate, and it's not even work for me. I live and breathe this, and hand on heart, I will continue doing this to my last breath. And what's really sad is I get high level entrepreneurs, even to this date, saying to me, "Well, Con, why are you still doing the youth? You don't really need to be doing that now." And that's quite sad in that our next generation is our next experts,
Yeah.
and they deserve it. And I feel in a way that we've kind of let them down because you'll go to dinner parties and you'll go wherever out, and you'll hear a lot of people in the older generation going, "Oh, yeah, the next generation is so lazy and they're so dumb and they don't know what they're talking about and they're all in their phones," and absolute rubbish. My passion lies in mentoring our next generation. They are extraordinary. They have so much to give. They are so driven and they deserve to be mentored and coached and given every opportunity to shine and become great, just like we did. And the program just helps them step into um, their own, I guess, authenticity and
Mm.
helping them gain a little bit more confidence and empowerment to become whatever it is they want to become because it gets so busy these days. It's busy for us as adults being on social media. There's
Mm.
so much chaos happening for them in their own mindset about what it truly means to be successful or great. And all I do is just peel that back, give them the support they need throughout that particular program. And I've had so many success stories so far
Yeah.
just watching young children from 15 all the way up to, the 30-year-olds now that I coach as well, just rise and become so successful so quickly.
I love that. It was just amazing to meet some of your young people at Rise to Greatness, where they were just so connected with what was going on. They were eloquent, they were articulate, they knew what they were doing, and yeah, just amazing. So, like, I just thought it was worth just talking about that a little bit.
Thanks,
So,
Fran.
Connie, did life take you where you expected?
Wow, you know what? I'm going to step into my vulnerability because you know what? We're here to actually help people as well through this, right? So,
Yeah.
bit about me. I'm a Greek background female. So, I should have been married at 30 with kids, should have been. But let me talk to you about two extraordinary people, my mother and father, who never ever imposed that traditional, you got to get married when you're young sort of things. I was always encouraged from mum and dad to live my trueness and to follow my own journey, right? I always thought as a young kid, I even wrote this in my year 12 book, you got to see it, and one day, I wanted to be married and have 6 kids by 26. Well, that didn't happen. So I was a little black sheep in the Greek community, career woman labeled, she's breaking all rules, she's not married yet, no children. But yet that didn't matter because I had a strong father and mother who encouraged every step of my journey towards me wanting to keep bettering myself and keep learning. And dad always encouraged, like, you know what? He used to say, in God's timing, things will happen in God's timing. Don't rush it, Con. And we're here to support you, right? Just be true to yourself, though, he said. Live your authentic, true self. So when you get to whatever age that it is that you pass, that you've got no regrets. And no matter what anyone says, he would say, all that matters is that you're happy in your heart.
Wow.
And I
Wow.
went,
What a gift.
I know, right? And if that's although it didn't take me where I thought I would be married, with the kids and doing all that stuff, to know I had the support of mum and dad behind me to wherever it was going to take me was more than enough because, you know, they were just my strength. Yeah.
Mm.
Because I was watching all the other ladies, my age get married and have the kids, and we'd go to like the dinners and they'll be talking about their children and stuff, right? And 46 still now, no children, right? And I still cop it in the Greek community. When are you and Rob going to have kids? You know? And then I say, reflect back, Dad's comment, in God's timing. Whenever that's meant to be, it will be. And if it's not meant to be, then it's not in my path and my journey for it to be. So
Yeah.
the limit, but no, I didn't think that at 30 I wouldn't be married, no children, but it didn't matter.
Yeah.
And it didn't matter what people thought because I was doing what was right for me. And that's all that matters. As long as you're being true and authentic to you, then that's all that matters because you don't want to get to your 40s, 50s, 60s and say, oh, what could have been,
No. No.
you
No,
know,
regret is a horrible burden. A
100%.
horrible, horrible burden. So looking back now, Connie, what was something that you were completely wrong about at 30?
Okay, let's step into further vulnerability. So and I have absolutely no problems talking about this because I've healed from it 100%. So I was in a real toxic relationship, to be quite honest. And again, being from my ethnic background, being from Greek background, I was already doing wrong stuff because I was living with this person and no, not married. How dare she living with this person? So in my own mind, I thought I had to stay with this person, because what will the community say?
Mm.
If I step away from this, I guess, relationship that was actually really stripping me from my true authentic self, you know, and I forced myself to stay in that relationship. And it was hard. And it's still hard talking about it because, you know, I knew at that point that it wasn't meant for me, but I was still, well, like if I step away, like there was an essence of be true to you, but there was still this whole, well, shit, I've got to go start again. And what am I going to do? And, I'm 30 and, you know,
Yeah.
what's going to happen. And it was difficult and very draining and very tiring because I wasn't happy. And
Yeah.
here and then I had my mother, father kind of like, still trying to make me understand it's okay if you step away. So I didn't
Mm,
have those, I guess, the Greek parents, well, you've got to marry him. And if you've chosen him, it's him. It was more, Dad, Fran, if I can explain Dad to you, like, I mean, he was there at the RTG. Like, my parents have always been there, like, always throughout. I mean, we were standing on stage at our massive event last year, and there's mum and dad, right? And I
yeah.
just, throughout my whole journey, there's mum and dad, there's mum and dad. So if I can explain 30-year-old Connie, there was mum and dad holding space,
Yeah.
going, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to step away. It's okay that you made a mistake. It's okay if it doesn't work out. We're here.
That's beautiful, isn't it?
There's
Absolutely.
nothing more powerful than that.
No.
Nothing more powerful than having that support,
Yeah.
and that it's okay to be vulnerable, you know?
Yeah.
It's okay to show your true authentic self. It's okay to fail. It's okay that this wasn't the perfect ending for you, Con.
Yeah.
But let's see what we've learnt from it, you know?
100%.
You know?
Exactly.
And I have learnt so much from it, Franny, Like,
Yeah.
and they're all learnings. Yeah.
They absolutely they are. And they say that, that life is the best teacher. And sometimes those lessons come wrapped in disaster. So let's talk about the biggest curveballs that life threw at you. Whether it was in business, relationship, or personal growth. What's one experience that at the time probably felt like the worst thing ever, but actually ended up shaping you?
When I was 30, yeah? Or
The context is when you were 30, but I think
yeah.
if there's a valuable, setback or a business failure, a personal struggle, if there's something else that you want to, then, we're not hard and fast here. This is about using the benefit of our hindsight to help others with their challenges.
Well, I'm actually gonna probably say what we just spoke about a couple of minutes ago, is
Yeah.
being in such a toxic relationship. Now, I'm not gonna the person wasn't bad, they just weren't the right person for me.
Yeah.
And I remained in that relationship for 13 years. 13 years. After the second year, I knew it wasn't right.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Okay.
And, everyone was like, well, Con, you're just such a strong, powerful, person, and you know exactly what you're talking about. You know who you are, what's going on. Why is it so hard for you?
Oh,
Why are you still staying with someone that doesn't, bring out the best in you? Like, and Fran, I don't have that answer. Hey, I really
no.
think it was supposed to happen to teach me so much about myself, and I've got to tell you, hand on heart, the person who helped me heal from that the most is my now amazing husband, Rob,
Mhm.
because I was so angry at myself and so angry at that person. Well, why didn't that person let me go if they knew that it
Yeah.
wasn't the right thing for me?
And
And
I guess why didn't
the amount
you
of
make the
healing that,
choice?
Rob allowed me to have and held space for me to actually say, it was meant to be for you to learn, Con. You know,
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
meant to be for you to experience, obviously, like you said, the curveball to help you move into even more of your authenticity and your trueness.
And if you could go back now and whisper advice to yourself in that moment, what would you say? What would you say now?
I would have walked away a lot sooner, friend. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have wasted all that time. And again, see, it's not waste, but I would have given my 30-year-old permission to actually leave, and go. And it was okay. And it doesn't matter what the community were going to say. Because at the time, I was also teaching Greek dancing. So the whole community, like knew that, and the Greek community is a lovely community, but
Mm.
it's, you don't go and live with your boyfriends. Back then it was a little bit different, right? And all that stuff. So it was like, well, I'm teaching all these kids. I have to be a role model for these kids as well. What are the parents going to say, you know? But yeah, I probably would have said to myself, let's walk away, Con. It's okay. And even though mum and dad were saying it, I really think I had to learn so much from that experience. And it still hurts. You know what? It still hurts to this day. sort of how I lost who I was, and how I guess something so toxic when you're in an environment, you can actually just lose that inner light, happiness, and joy. And that it took me a very long time after I walked away to actually reclaim that
Yeah.
and heal from it, you
Yeah.
know?
And I think that's true. And when you come back and you come through that healing process, how do those challenges change the way that you approach success now?
Well, they shape you, don't they?
Mm,
Yeah. I mean, you were at the RTG, the Race to Greatness event.
I
Yeah.
was. I was.
It's these moments that make us who we are. So I had to find my healing from it and my learnings from it and apply it to actually say and stop being angry at myself, because I was really, really angry at myself. And I know there's a lot of women out there and men that stay in toxic relationships and they're like, well, and then, but we've got to look past that, you
Yeah.
know, and actually think of it as a blessing, in terms of it's your difficult moments that really truly bring out the best in you, and what learning that has occurred to actually lift you up into the person that you've become. Because if you hold on to that past, it's gone, right?
Yeah.
This is what a lot of people do. It's gone. It's finished. It's happened, and we're here now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're here in the moment now.
Do you think there's a point, when we stay in relationships, and like you, I've done that as well. I thought it was the right thing for the kids. I thought it was the right thing to
Yep,
do. Having had a previous marriage that hadn't worked, I thought it was the right thing to stay there. But actually, the what you give of yourself to do that, what you sabotage yourself because you just completely allow yourself to move away from any of your own values. You completely destroy your own being in order to stay in something, and which essentially is never going to make you happy. It's not going to lift you up. It's not going to allow you to shine.
exactly what you're saying, shine. Because one of my biggest beliefs, and I told you this, since the age of 13, and this is the blessing and the gift that I was able to align with, is that I believe, hand on heart, that every single person is born with a gift and everybody's born to shine. You
Mm,
are meant to live an extraordinary life. And it's all the limitations that either others or you put on yourself, right?
yeah.
And my whole purpose of being, my whole purpose of serving humanity, right? Because it's not work, it's not job. Like
Mm,
anyone that thinks that serving another human is a job is in it for the wrong reason, right? And I
mm,
have no problem saying that whatsoever. You are here for your fellow human. I'm here to make sure that every human that comes through my path understands and is able to have all these onion layers pulled back with
mm,
all the amazing training and resources that I've gained through my studies, and all
mm,
my
mm,
experiences, so I can help them shine. And maybe, just maybe, hand on heart, that I've actually gone through this experience. I had to go through that myself
yeah.
so I can become that shining star.
And what do you think was the main thing about going through those experiences, about coming out of a toxic relationship, making the decision to actually go, "No, that's enough." How do you think you got to that point?
Do you really want to know?
Yeah, I do.
Mum and dad.
Yeah.
I'm going to be honest. I was in, and you've got, if you want to become the best version of yourself, you've got to be really authentic or true, right? And I think these days we're all in front of Instagram selling, sorry, I'm going to bullshit to the world that it's all fluffy and it's all beautiful and we've got to keep lying to people. I'm not going to lie. I was in the darkest place of my whole entire life. I had completely, what you were saying, stripped all my values, my whole self. I didn't even know who I was anymore, right?
Yeah.
Subconsciously, I did. And
Yeah.
if it wasn't for mum and dad, I don't know. I really don't know, right? And it's when you're at your lowest, this is what I say again to the youth and to my small businesses and entrepreneurs: surround yourself with people that are going to bring you up, because life is going to have many difficult moments. And you know this, Fran, yeah? You know this, hon. You've been there, you've done it. There are difficult moments. Your tribe is your vibe. And I
Yeah.
write that on the board when I'm coaching, or and I'm hand on heart on this. And that's why, again, with the Rise to Greatness movement, we want people to be around great people. And I'm not talking about greatness, with the jets and the mansion, none of that. I'm talking about true, genuine, authentic people who are on the same journey to live happy, content lives where you can be true to yourself and you can shine no matter what you decide you want to do
Yeah,
with your
yeah.
end goal.
I love that. I do know, and I love that. And you're right. Maybe everyone does have to go through certain things, but I hope that, sharing what you've just shared then, actually gives people that, that bravery, that braveness and that
Yeah.
courage to make those steps when you become aware that you're not in alignment with who you truly are.
And you can do it. And I know, if anyone's listening to this, episode, you can do it. The minute your words have so much power, Fran, right?
Mm,
And
mm,
sometimes I know life gets so hard where you don't even have the words to actually say. Surround yourself with the people that are going to help you with those words,
yeah,
right? Like around the people that want to see you shine, because that's the moment you know that those people are your true supporters. you
yeah.
know we can all have the amazing, going back to business, you can all have this amazing, business plan, and you've got all the goals written up on the board. But if you don't have the support or people around you, true, genuine, authentic people that understand the realness of life and the resiliency that's required,
Mm,
you know,
yeah.
it's
No, for sure.
so
Yeah, it is.
fundamental,
It
you
is.
know?
It is. So let's get to the heart of the episode. If you could give your 30-year-old self just three pieces of advice, and we've given a lot of advice, we've talked a
We
lot
have.
about all sorts of things there. But if you were to choose just like three pieces of advice, what would they be?
My three pieces of advice would be to stay true to your authentic self.
Mm,
Like, honestly, I think being true to you allows you not to have any regrets in later life, is number one. Number two for me would be to make sure you surround yourself with people that are going to lift you up in the difficult moments. Yeah. And then, as trainer coach, I'm going to say this hand on heart: don't only focus on your professional development. You need a balance of both professional and personal development to become the greater version and the best version of yourself, because you equally need both.
yeah, you
Equally
do.
need both. And I am a firm believer of that. And they're
I
the
love
three
that.
pieces of advice.
Fit body, fit mind. That's
Like,
powerful.
it's that balance.
Yeah,
You got to have both, and I know that there's a lot of noise out there. And, I would add to block out noise, to be around and keep continually putting yourself in an environment where there's not that much noise so you can have clarity
yeah.
and
Like
hear
Claire.
your inner voice. There's just so much noise happening out there these days. And is it really your voice that's happening, or is it not? So we need to be
Yeah,
spending time with ourselves and actually saying, is that of trueness and authenticity? Because it coming from a place of me or not?
that's powerful, Connie. Do you think, and I mean, to that exact point, do you think that younger professionals and entrepreneurs today struggle with the same things that we did? Or do you think they're facing now a completely different world?
It is a completely different world, and I'll tell you why. There is joist noise coming from left, right, and center,
Mm,
telling these young entrepreneurs. And I work with these young entrepreneurs, telling them what they should be doing, what they should be saying, what resources they should be implementing in their business. Nothing is concrete from their own sort of certainty.
yes, yes.
That is really, really damaging and a
Mm,
really scary place to be coming from. So, a lot of the programs which that I do with a lot of my younger youth people, when I say youth, I mean like even the 20 and 30-year-olds, yeah, are still
yeah.
young, allowing them to come into a space of stillness and peace and
Mm,
just switch everything off. Where is that coming from? And really building up who that actual person is within. We had that opportunity. We were, outdoors. We had a lot
yeah,
more time with ourselves. We
yeah.
did the whole things, we did lots of activities when we were younger trying to find out who we were and what we were as, even for
Yeah.
children.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now everything the children are doing is on computers. And they're still scrolling, there's a lot of work around sort of like, and this stuff as well in terms of the brain about we're losing our own attention span because we've got 7-year-olds that are losing their own memory.
Mm,
There's a
yeah.
real serious issue here with that. So there's bigger issues. They're afraid to communicate. They're afraid to stand up for what they believe in. We're relying on, and look, I think AI is good and it's a great tool and resource, but we're relying on it to actually critically think and let us think our own feelings and thought. What do you think, ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
what do you
I
think
agree.
about that instead of asking and confirming with ChatGPT if that feeling or thought is okay? What do
No,
you think about that?
no.
And I think the other thing I really want to add in there that I'm seeing is a lot of people, that are younger entrepreneurs, are forgetting their inner intuition, their inner gut feeling. If it says and feels like it's wrong, it's
It's
probably
wrong.
wrong.
Yeah.
Right? You don't need anyone to confirm that for you. What does so and so think about it? What does this influence say about it? What's ChatGPT think about it? What does Siri think about it? No, no. What do you feel and
Yeah.
think about it? And as an entrepreneur, you've got to make these. You've got to take risk, yeah.
Yeah.
And when you're taking risk, it's all about the feeling and the thought and what are you thinking and feeling. And if you can't make that critical thinking come to life or that intuition come to life, then how are you really risk taking?
Yeah. Yeah. No,
You know,
yeah, it's
it's a
absolutely
serious
true.
issue.
I loved what you said about, their having their own certainty and actually being sure that that's, or not even sure, but at least being certain in their decision making and what they're doing from a business perspective. Because if you're always looking outside of yourself to get that, not the justification, but to get the, what's the word I'm looking for? Okay, if you like, to get the
Yeah.
okay, then how are you ever going to create that certainty to be able to say, no, this is what I'm doing? And I think maybe that's one of the mindset shifts that would change an approach to success.
Well, you know what it is, Fran? I work with a lot of younger people, and I find that there's also this uncertainty of when they should even be doing certain things. I'll give you a really good example. I'm working with a young gentleman. He's in his later 20s, and he's like, Con, I'm really struggling at the moment to do my morning training routine. And I said, okay, well, are you a morning person? He goes, well, not really. I said, then why are you training in the morning if you're not? And he's like, I go, have you trained any other parts of the day? He goes, yeah, in the afternoon, and I really love it. Hello. Well, okay, let's strip this back for a moment. Who who's advised you or told you that you've got to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning when you're not a 5 o'clock in the morning riser and go and train? You've got your own business, you've got your own, you know, you can set your own time. I was watching a podcast and so said that, and I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
right, let's
5
stop.
a.m. club.
Let's please stop here. Yeah, because we need a lot of the work I'm doing is it's helping these younger people reconnect, not only with sort of like who they are, their true self, but just allowing them to become and get into their own routine that suits their own persona, because they're getting so much information from different entrepreneurs, different influencers
Yeah.
out there saying, oh
Yeah.
no, I've just got to schedule my life around what these people are saying. Well, is it working for you? Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
And
you
I'm like,
do.
well, we can't chat GPT this. Like, we've got to figure this out together.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm seeing that with, I guess, I'm going to be really honest here. 90% of the younger entrepreneurs don't even have a routine that suits their own true self and their own life.
And their own energy levels, when their energy levels are, yeah,
Correct.
it's all, we're all different, aren't we? Some of us bounce
100%.
out of bed at 5 a.m. in the morning with everyone else saying, shut up. And other people are, work into the night. You can't be both. And it's okay to have that, you're absolutely right. Just because somebody says that you should be up at 5 doing, running 10Ks and then doing your ice baths and everything else. If it doesn't work for you, then that's fine. Find what does. Find what matches those when your energy's high. And it's the same as doing critical work or things that are moving your business forward. Choose the time of day that you actually work the best at, and it's different for everybody. And give yourself permission to the rest in the times that you're not good at.
And this is the thing, we're pushing ourselves, and we know, that a lot of, and you would know this as well, a lot of the cancer triggers, 9 out of 12 are psychological,
Uh,
right? And I've done a lot of study around this. And the other thing that you were saying, I totally agree, is a lot of the younger entrepreneurs at the moment are feeling guilty if there's downtime. Oh, no, 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 because so and so is going to outdo me. And I'm like, well, when are you resting?
yeah.
When are you giving back to yourself? When are you creating the memories? When are you doing what you've always wanted to do?
Uh,
Or are you going to get to 70 on 80 if God blesses you with that, many age, that lifespan? And then you're like, oh, I didn't create the memories because I was too busy working to 1 o'clock in the morning and I didn't do the
yeah,
things I really wanted to do.
yeah.
Well,
What's the
you know,
purpose? What are you
and
doing?
then
Why are you
why,
doing what you're doing?
why are you doing it? Why would you do that? Because a lot of the things about creating business, and I guess small business, this is the other passion I have, my small business owners, is we go into having our own business so we can create time to actually do the stuff we want, right?
Apparently so.
Apparently, and then apparently 90% of my business owners are like drowning in their own times. There's no time to actually create memories.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, it's the whole work that we do, with Rob and I, is to create space so people can actually create the systems and processes so they can buy back their time. That's the reason why they got into entrepreneurship or small businesses, to create these memories. And a big part of that is, and Rob spoke about this on stage at the RTG event, is having Rob's dad pass away in Rob's arms with so many regrets, Fran,
Uh,
because they had the small business. However, they were working from 6 to 10
yeah,
and on Saturdays and on Sundays, and missed all the children's stuff and missed the memories and
yeah,
didn't have the holidays. What for?
yeah,
Is that greatness? Is that real greatness? Is that what we're selling here? Like, is this what we're all here to do? Because I'll tell you now, I'll hop on Instagram and Facebook and that's all I freaking see.
yeah.
We don't talk about memories. We don't talk about happiness. We don't talk about what happens when you regret.
Mm.
And why not? Because it's not the sexy topics to talk about, you
No,
see.
that's right. That's right. So
And
taking
yeah.
on from there, sorry, go on. Did you want
No,
to?
I'm just saying, and that's what we're here to do. That, you were saying about, what advice is,
Mm,
don't be that person. Don't be the Rob's dad. Don't be that person that is in the 70s, 80s and goes, my goodness, what did I do here?
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
sad. It's really
yeah.
sad
It is.
because you only get one shot, right?
Absolutely. You've got to give yourself permission to enjoy what you do and be intentional in what you do. And that means being aware, doesn't it? And building the
Absolutely.
life that you want.
And I didn't say for a minute not to work hard.
I know.
I didn't say not to have goals. I didn't say not to have
No.
dreams. I work bloody hard with Rob. We
Yeah,
do.
yeah.
But I'm going to go for the walk with my husband. I'm
Mm,
going to go to the dinner with my dad. I'm going to go and get the hugs that I want.
yeah,
I'm going to surround myself with amazing, extraordinary people like you and do road shows, you know, and create those memories.
exactly.
That's what greatness is. That's what we have lost as a
Yeah,
society, sitting down at the kitchen table with everybody without a phone, speaking about how our day was
yeah,
for half an hour. Doesn't
yeah.
happen anymore.
Communicating.
Hello, it's real. I'm just like, do you guys sit down and chat at home? Oh no, we're all on our phones. I'm thinking,
Yeah.
you know,
No, you're right. Great advice. So, talking about advice, what's the best advice that you ever received and who gave it to you?
I love that question. So again, I'm actually gonna actually, there's 2 people. Can I say 2?
You can, of course you can. It's you, Connie.
And I'm gonna get away with it, right? That's what I say. I get away with it because 'cause I'm Connie. Um, 2 people, because these are both men that I honor and love so much. My dad, for allowing me to be me, and his advice was, "Stay true to you, and if people don't love who Connie is, then that's their fault. That's their problem because they're gonna
Yeah,
get to miss out on your energy." Because look, I'm quirky, right? I'm the quirky professional. I ain't gonna get out there and be this professional, submissive. I am, you know me, Fran. I'm loud and I'm quirky and I'm here to bring out the best in people and make people smile like that, right? And
yeah,
dad saw that from a young age and he goes, "You're gonna get people, you're gonna get your haters, but I want you to be true to you." Yeah. Because people are going to see that and not like, and then they're going to try to bring you down because of it. And you know what? 46 and people still are. I don't
yeah.
care. So, but then, like it helps you build, your personality. And then I get to meet amazing people like you. Right.
Oh,
No, it's honest. Like, when you're more true to yourself, people get to see the who you are, and then they'll make that decision for themselves if that's someone they actually want in their life or not. And that's okay. Either way, right?
brilliant.
And then the other one is obviously my lovely husband. I've had to learn this and I'm still working on this. I do wear my heart on my sleeve. Yeah, I do. And I hate upsetting people. And I find that I would give so much energy out. I've just learned to give back to myself a little bit more. And it was like, Con, I'm not asking you to use your heart less, right? I'm just asking you to give back to yourself a little bit now and again. And I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
Brilliant. That's great advice. Well
Yeah.
done. Well done, Rob.
Go, Robbie. Because you know what it is, friends? If we're not giving back and we're not reviving our energy, like you were saying, we were having a chat a little bit about reviving energy before, I'm not going to be my 100% version for that person in front of me, right? If I'm going because I'm too afraid to say no and disappoint, I'm going to be this tired and give 80%, 70%. So if I'm giving back that time to myself and reviving my energy, then that person in front of me is going to get my fullness.
Absolutely. And it is permission to give back, permission to feed and to make sure that you're okay first.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that
it's
that's
so
okay. And,
important.
and that, stepping into that okayness.
Yeah, it is. Okay. We've covered the deep stuff. Now let's have a bit of fun. I'm going to hit you with some quick fire questions. Don't overthink. I just want you to
Okay.
say the first thing that comes to mind. Connie, what's the worst business or life advice you ever got?
Oh, no. Everything happens overnight.
Yeah,
There
nah,
you
it
go. It's
doesn't,
like,
does it?
no, or even don't work harder, work smarter. Who says
Yeah,
it's
what's
not
that
hard
about?
work? What is that? Yeah. Yeah. It's hard work. It is hard work.
It is. There's no shortcuts, that's for sure.
No.
Mentals every time. If you could have lunch with any historical figure, who would it be?
Jesus.
Oh, well, you're going to be at the same lunch table as Rob.
Now you know why I married him. Do you know, funny story? It's so weird on our first little date. It was like, 'cause I was just thinking, is he going to think this is weird? I'm like, well, are you faithful? Or, and he's like, yeah. And I'm like, yes, inside of myself, like, yeah. Because, faith is a big part of Rob and I. We're all born in this amazing image. And, we just want everyone to embrace that.
Yeah, I love
Yeah.
that. I love
Yeah.
that. So moving on from there, what's a guilty pleasure you refuse to apologize for?
I don't have any on the table. Sugar. I eat a lot of sugar and I know it's bad and everyone's trying to make me quit, but you know what? I love my lollies and my chocolate and my ice cream. I do.
Everything in moderation. Everything in moderation.
Oh, didn't say I don't go for a run afterwards, but yes.
Okay, exactly. Now I'm really looking forward to the answer to this one. If your 30-year-old self had a theme song, what would it be?
Goodness me. This is a hard one, Fran.
Is it?
I can't even answer this one. I should have had this down, shouldn't I?
Yes. Yeah.
She's
You're going to have
going,
to
yeah.
think about it.
I should have known this one.
Let's move on and you can come back to it. So I'm going to
I'm going
ask
to come
you,
back to this
yeah,
one.
come back to that one. Or you can phone a friend. So what's one thing that you absolutely sucked at in your 30s, but you've mastered now?
Saying no.
Yeah.
saying no. I was always like, "Yeah, sure, I'll do that." Yeah, and then, you'd go home going, "What the hell did I say yes to?"
Yeah, why did I agree to that? Why did I
Yeah,
agree to that? Yeah, no, it's taken me 60 years to work that one out as well, because I've always
yeah,
done, "Yep,
100%,
yeah," so
100%.
well done you, well done. Wow, Connie, that was incredible. I know so many listeners are going to resonate with your stories, but before we wrap up, let's do a quick recap. What's the single biggest takeaway you'd like people to remember from our conversation?
I just want everyone to understand that we're all born to be extraordinary, to live amazing lives. And life is really difficult, yeah? And you're going to come across situations that are going to put all these onion layers over this beautiful flower that we're all meant to be, right? All deserve to live the beautifulest life, creating beautiful memories and stepping into that greatness. Whatever flower, just picture a beautiful, whatever favorite flower you have. Or if you can't picture a flower, picture a beautiful, sports car. And everyone deserves to be extraordinary and live extraordinary. Everyone was born with a gift. Everyone
Mm,
was born with an amazing gift, and just surround yourselves with people that will bring out the best in you so that you can create memories. So when you turn 50, 60, 70, 80, if you're blessed to, to live that long, you look back in your life and you're like, shit, yeah, that was good. Not, oh my God, I missed out. I don't want people to miss out, Franny. I
no,
want people to live happy, content lives. And really, I just want people to have successful lives where they can actually just be so happy. Yeah. And that's why we do the Rise to Greatness movement, because we just want people to have opportunities to step into their success and to their greatness, whatever that is. You
yeah,
know, the greatness doesn't necessarily mean a successful business or having a jet or the mansion. It might just be being happy, being
yeah.
peaceful, being whatever it is. So, if you don't know what that is, just spend some time away from all this noise and figure that out, and just give yourself permission to live that greatness. There's no right or wrong answer. It might just be to sip a cup of coffee for 10 minutes a day, feeling so content with no internet, whatever it is. Allow yourself, and don't let any other person or group of people, whatever, just tell you that your version of what you want to become is wrong. You are right. You step into that trueness, that authenticity. And I just want people to be happy, healthy, and live beautiful lives. Know me, Fran.
I do. I love that. And I love the Rise to Greatness movement. I was very honored to be on stage with you all last year. And it's just a beautiful, beautiful coming together of incredible people. And yeah, just so proud of what you've achieved there.
I've got the song.
I thought you might. My
I'm
next
a, s-
question.
there you
Come on,
go.
mate.
I've got the song, babe. I'm a survivor. There you go. You know the song?
You certainly are. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah.
Connie, thank you so much. And for everyone listening, here's my challenge to you. Take one thing from today's episode and apply it to your life this week. Maybe it's reaching out to someone who can mentor you. Maybe it's finally taking that leap that you've been scared of. Whatever it is, take action. If this episode inspired you, make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share with someone who needs to hear this. And if you have a question or a topic you want me to cover in a future episode, send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for tuning in to What I Wish I Knew at 30. Remember, your best chapters are still ahead. See you next time. Connie, thank you so much for joining me today. I can't wait to see you at Rise to Greatness in February, and really looking forward to catching up with you again very, very soon.
You are my tribe, girlfriend. You just a bundle of inspiration. I wish you all the success in the world with this. Every 30-year-old needs this. So, God bless you and the work that you're doing, because you are seriously a true inspiration. And I cannot wait to share that stage again with you, my love.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Bye, honey.